Right, now we know how to set the font of a text, we're going to look at styling the text a little bit more. Now, we've already seen a few ways to do this, so I'll cover those first, and then we'll go on to some new things. So here we have what we had at the end of last lesson, which was just some basic text in paragraph tags and a font family of Arial. So let's just do a couple of simple things with that. We might want to make some of it bold. That's easy enough. We use the font weight command there. So font weight is bold. Let's have a look at that. There we go. So we've got some nice bold text there. In fact, maybe what we'll do is we'll create a paragraph for each of these, so that you've got a nice reference to refer to when you need to. So I suggest you follow along and type these, but you can download it in the docs as well. So there we go, we've got some normal text and we've got some bold text. We can make text italic using the font style command, so I'll just call that an italic class. Font style italic, like that. Oops, yep, let's update the text there. This is some italic text. Fantastic. We've already looked at colors. So to set the color, you just use color is green or whatever it might be. You can of course use the HTML codes there if you want as well. We can underline some text. I'll just remind you of the span tag. To show you how we can refer to text within a paragraph. Oops, notice I got that the wrong way around. So dot underline. We use the text decoration instruction. So text decoration is underline. There we go, and then we've got that underlined. Fantastic. Now we can change the font size as well. Let's go in and change some of these. So if we change this to font size is 200%, what that will do is it will make it twice as large as the text would otherwise have been. So it's twice as large as the that bold paragraph would otherwise have been. So that's what's called a relative font size. We're making the size relative to what it would otherwise have been. You might also want an absolute font size, in which case you specify it in terms of pixels. So that's 20 pixels. The default font size in most browsers is 16 pixels. So if we set it to 16 pixels, it'll be the same size as it would be if we didn't set the font size at all. So there is some debate in web design circles as to whether you use pixels or percentages. There is a third option as well, known as EM. So if we try a font size of 2EM, like that, that makes it quite large. So 1 EM is actually the same as 16 pixels. So 1 EM is the standard font size in most browsers. So if you just change that slightly, it will make it slightly bigger, etc. So that's very similar to using the percentage command. The reason that some people prefer using the relative sizes is when you resize your text in some browsers. If the text is defined in an absolute way, so say 10 pixels, then it won't necessarily resize nicely. Chrome works pretty well, so that actually works nicely, but sometimes you do get problems. So that's one for you to investigate, but it depends on the particular nature of the project. But really you can use percentages or pixels, whichever works for your project. So that's all we're going to look at specifically in terms of the text styling, but I'll just lead you to a bit of further reading if you like. The W3 Schools font page is really useful, so they've got a couple of extra things there. There's the oblique font style, which is very rarely used, but you can try that out if you like. A bit of a discussion of what type of font size to use, relative versus absolute, etc. And the text page is useful as well. So they talk about colors there. We'll talk about text align in the next video. A bit of text decoration, so some rarely used options, but you can use overline and line through as well if you want. And if you want to instruct by CSS that a particular bit of text should be uppercase, you can just use that text transform option there. And we've got the text indent option, which allows you to indent just the first line of a paragraph of text. So you can play around with those and then go on to have a look at text align in the next video.